It is the dawning of a new day. The shadows of night have passed and the sun shines anew. It is a day of new possibilities and new adventures not yet written in the story of our lives. On this day, we are setting the final pieces into place and rolling out on our trip. But sometimes the pieces don't come together as we planned. Leading up to today, we finished our house projects and we prepped and packed Aunt Gladdy. We have some sort of nest that was built. You could see it was almost like 4 feet wide from here all the way down to there. Chris is trying to get all of this stuff out. Let me show you what this looks like. We were all set to go, but when Chris went to hook up the truck battery was dead. He jumped it, but rather than having to deal with this again on the road, we decided to have a new battery installed. That meant waiting until 3 o'clock in the afternoon until the shop could take it, and that meant that we were no longer leaving today. We quickly scrambled to change our plans, and that is when we were faced with the impossibility of finding a campground for the Friday night of Memorial Day weekend. If you remember last year, we tried to hit Charleston, South Carolina over Memorial Day weekend, and we couldn't find a single campground then either. This time they were all booked or would only accept 3-night reservations. After spending half an hour in vain, we decided to shoot for a Cabela's right off the highway instead. Now we just had to take the truck in for its new battery, move a few items back in the house for overnight, and then wait until tomorrow.
And you can see behind me probably the trash way down there. They didn't pick that up this morning, so I'm dealing with that too. I canceled it at the beginning of this week, but they knew that they had to pick it up this week. And obviously I think some wires got crossed, so got to get rid of the trash before we head out of town.
It is the dawning of a new day, again. We packed up the last few items again and prepared to leave. Chris unplugged the camper and checked to make sure the fridge was working, but it didn't switch over to propane. Chris realized that our battery for the camper was now dead. Mentally preparing to have to get a new camper battery, Chris checked the battery. It was sparking. The connection had come loose. He fixed the connection and we were back in business, until we put the slide in.
I mean, this piece snapped off.
That is when Chris noticed something drop from beneath the slide.
So this belt here, when we put the slide in, something didn't look right in the wheel well. So this plastic belt thing here, it goes in and out with the slide and it holds electrical wires and stuff. Well, at some point in the past, who knows when, it sheared off where it connects over here. So what needs to happen is this whole thing needs to get replaced. Well, that's not going to happen today. So I'm just trying to reattach this thing as good as possible to where it broke off so that it'll stay in place while we're on this trip. So we'll see how it goes.
Once Chris had our problem fixed, it was time to shut down the house. As you know, we have never left a house behind before, so this was a new process for us. We shut off the water completely. We also unplugged everything and turned off certain breakers. Now we were finally ready to leave. We locked the house up again and hit the road, after letting the local Amish traffic pass by. After 2 days of bumpy starts, we were finally on our way to Ohio. Well, I think exactly what we didn't want to happen happened, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I think we might be able to park over there.
I think we can park over. Oh yeah, there's a ton of people over there. Of course the trucks took all the RV spaces, but it looks like maybe we can park over there.
There's a Class A over there.
Alright. Our first night back on the road and the moon is out and beautiful. It's nice and warm and we are in a Cabela's parking lot.
This ain't so bad.
It's first night camping. We were trying to eat outside because it's so hot in here. These are the nights when you wish you had a Class A because they roll in, they got their air on, they got their TV on.
Big old generator, keeps everything running. It's like they might as well be plugged in.
Meanwhile, we suffer for the lifestyle, don't we?
We sure do. We're sweating this out.
We are sweating for the lifestyle.
Oh my word.
But anyways,
it was either get eaten alive out there by mosquitoes with a little bit of a breeze, or be in here, no mosquitoes, but it's 90.
Yeah, so the mosquitoes chased us in. But I do want to note that it was a real camping experience because while we were eating our dinner, we got to watch raccoons at the dumpster.
Right.
After our overnight in Columbus, we are now in the state of Indiana, headed to our friends and the Indy 500. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.